Hello everybody, this is Ilan Shamir at Your True Nature. Today I'd like to share with you a story about the gift of a tree. It was this beautiful tree given to me for my 11th birthday. Now I don't remember many of the presents, because I know kids at that age would get a train or a puppy or something exciting to them. But I got a tree, a beautiful magnolia tree, just 2.5 feet tall. Its trunk the size of a pencil. Now my Uncle Stanley and Aunt Barbara gave it to me because they knew who I was. They knew that I loved nature. And this tree was so amazing. Now I went into the garage and I got a shovel and I'm throwing it around. It's amazing I didn't whack anybody in the head. But I went out into my yard, outside my window, and I dug into the earth and planted this tree, opened up the earth, and thereby opened up this new friendship. Now this tree and I grew up together. It grew and I grew and it grew some more and I grew some more. And it was so amazing how these white blossoms would open each spring and the green waxy leaves were so incredible. And of course the scent, that white fragrant magnolia scent. Now I was so much enthralled with nature. I'd spend time outdoors by the rivers, climbing trees. It was so much a part of my life. Now I went off to college, and one day I called my dad and I said, "Dad, hi, how are you?" "How's my brother?" "Fine." "How's my mom?" "Fine." "How are you?" "Great." "How's my tree?" I could tell there was a quiver in his voice. He said, "Son, well, you know, we moved away from that house and they cut down your tree." "What? That was my tree. Why didn't somebody tell me? I would have moved it. I would have come. I would have done anything. Why?" He said, "Well, you know, they needed more light in the yard. It was their house." "Why? More light?" "Oh my gosh, this is my tree, my beautiful tree." Later I would go to San Antonio and I would tell my uncle, "You know, you gave me this beautiful tree and they cut it down." He said, "No, they didn't cut it down." He took me into the backyard and he showed me this huge old magnolia tree and said, "We just moved it." Isn't that beautiful when somebody understands about who you are and what matters to you? And many years later, when my daughter was going into first grade, I got her a tree, a beautiful little bur oak tree. Now she went in the garage and she got a shovel and she was waving it around. I thought, gosh, is this hereditary or what? But she took that shovel and so excitedly planted her tree in the ground and had this new friend. Now we had a ceremony and all the kids, little hands in hands, circling the tree, holding hands. She said, "Wait, Dad, wait." And she went into the house and she came back and she was in her little bib overalls and she had a couple of things tucked in there. And she pulled out a little shoe, you know, the kind where the tops were worn more than the bottoms. And she placed that shoe down by the roots and said, "Dad, I'm going into first grade. I'm a big girl. I'm not going to need these anymore." And she reached in the other side and pulled out a diaper pin and said, "Dad, I'm a big girl now," and put that diaper pin in with the roots. And I watered that tree with my tears as I knew my daughter would be growing up just like this tree. And that she'd be off and become a little toddler into a little girl, into a woman, and eventually out on her own. I remember that day as vividly as if it were yesterday. Hey, this is Ilan back here 14 years after my daughter was holding hands with her little friends. This is the tree, a bur oak tree. This was the little one that was just this big when we planted it. And I remember it. So look at this beautiful bark, how it's grown, it's provided shade. Many days there's been the birds nest up in the seasons, and when all the leaves fall, there's the bird nest. And Wow. I think one of the reasons trees are so important to us is they mark the seasons, they mark time, they grow. We look at our lives. It's so easy to kind of go day after day, but by the trees growing bigger and more full around and taller, it reminds us of our nature and our changing seasons and our growth. Look at this beautiful tree. Wow. It's amazing. We can pan up and just show that tree. All from one tiny little pencil-sized twig, putting down such amazing roots. Trees, I love them.